I'm going to show you 6 common and horrendous logotype mistakes, why they are so bad, and why you need to avoid them in your logo designs. So for this example, we're going to be mainly looking at the first title of the logo itself and not the strapline, or as other people would say, the tagline. So what do you think is wrong with this example of the logo type? But the thing is here, it might look trendy or it might look relevant to the design, but notice how thin the typeface is on Kingston. If you look at a revised version, this is using the same font, but just a different thickness in terms of the font family. Now you might ask, what is wrong with having a thin font or typeface for your logo? Well, take a look here. When things are downscaled and smaller in size, it becomes quite difficult to read the logo type itself. And this is going to be a big problem for a brand, because you can imagine if this logo was on a business card, for example, it would be very difficult to read the thin font compared to the thicker one, even though the thin one might be more representative of the brand and the message itself. So we're moving on to the second of 6 different ways that you can destroy your logos in terms of the logo type used. And here is a really simple and kind of geometric logo design. But yeah, take a look at the logo type here. Granted, this is a bit of an exaggeration, but this is something I see so often in beginner or novice designers, and it really frustrates me. And that is where people use one letter larger than the actual rest of the logo type to represent the word itself. This not only looks really amateurish and annoying to me, it's just confusing and it just looks really tacky and ugly. I don't know why many beginner logo designers just jump to this option, but you need to stop doing it because it looks unprofessional and it has no place in logo design if you ask me. So yeah, try and avoid using a single letter to represent the start of a word or several words for your logo designs. Now the third logo design and the third example of why you can really mess up your logo designs with the typography used. I've made this symbol here, and as you can see, here is some pretty ugly logo type. So what do you think my point here is for this design? Now this is one of the most important points to take home today from this video, and that is the font or logo type that you use for your logos should be absolutely relevant to the message of the brand or just the message of the logo in general. So for example here, the logo is very straight edged and very sophisticated in appearance, and so a playful kind of funny weird font isn't going to do that justice. So on the second revision, I went for something more contemporary, something more simple, and something that does reflect the overall style of the symbol itself. So just remember what you want to say about the brand or the message from the logo, and represent that with the style of the typeface in combination with the symbol. Moving on to the fourth example in today's video, we've got a pretty playful M within an enclosure logo. I went for a lowercase logo type here to keep it more personal, but I didn't go for something handwritten to make sure it still wasn't too playful. But what do you think is wrong with this design? Well, if you take a look at the second revision, we can see the tracking has been increased over the entire design. And this is really important to get right as well. And that is because when you scale them down, only one remains legible. And I actually do advise that you might want to send 2 different versions of your logos to the client so they can use them on large scale designs or smaller scale designs, like we said earlier, on a business card. So yeah, remember to have your coning and your tracking in order so the logo is legible at any distance or any size pretty much. The penultimate design today is something I made myself, and let's take a look at the first example today of this design. Now this doesn't really look like a logo design to me, but what do you think is wrong with this design? Well, firstly, there's a lot going on, it's kind of cluttered, there's even a .com in the title of the logo, and this is something I suggest you don't do if possible. I don't think it looks very professional, to be honest, but that's just my opinion. But the point here is to keep things simple and to not clutter a logo. The logo design should be as simple as possible to drive home the message and the communication for the brand itself. There's no reason to overcomplicate things, especially with the logo type. So just keep things simple. And lastly today, we actually have some color in this video. And my point here is, when you're using color for the logo type, you should be very careful on what you actually choose. Because as you can see here, granted, the logo type color reflects the bottom of the logo design itself, but it doesn't look good on this background. So keep in mind where the logo is going to be used, and if the logo type color is going to work in many different situations. One way around this is to actually have an enclosure, say like a rectangle, a black rectangle, so the color always works on that background. But this logo doesn't have an enclosure, and it's just a symbol and a logo type. But you should be very careful on what colors you choose for your logo design, and especially when it traverses down into the logo type. Again, less is more, so you don't need to be flamboyant and over the top with too many colors being used. Keep things simple, guys. That's one of the main rules for logo designing. Do you want to become the best graphic designer that you can possibly be? Hi, I'm Tom Satori, and I've got over a decade of hands-on experience in the graphic design industry, as well as owning a YouTube channel with 175,000 plus subscribers, totally dedicated to graphic design. Now, if you want to boost your skills and your awareness as a graphic designer, head over to my subscription-based website for exclusive content, one-on-one help, vector and PST downloads, and so much more. Design your future today with Satori. So there are 6 different logotype mistakes that you need to avoid in your graphic design workflow. Let me know if you found today's video useful, and if you want to keep boosting your skills as a graphic designer, subscribe to my channel for weekly graphic design content. Have a great day, and until next time, design your future today. Peace.